And here is the Writer's Almanac for Monday, the 2nd of May, 2022. The first commercial jet airliner service was inaugurated on this day, 1952, the British Overseas Aircraft Corporation. It was a de Havilland Comet 1, 36-seater, jet-powered, and the first flight was from London to Johannesburg, stopping in Rome, Beirut, Khartoum, Entebbe, and Livingston. Took 23 hours, and the jet flew above the storms, 8 miles high. It was on this date, 1536, Anne Boleyn, the second wife of King Henry VIII, was arrested for high treason, adultery, and incest. She was intelligent, outspoken. She'd been raised in France. She had educated opinions about politics and religious reform. She came to the court when she was 20 years old to serve as a lady-in-waiting. She soon caught the eye of the king, and for 7 years he courted her, and for 7 years she put him off. He managed to get his first marriage to Catherine of Aragon annulled by breaking with the Pope, declaring himself head of the Church of England. And then Anne Boleyn consented to marry him. Their early months of marriage were happy ones. Their first child, a girl born in 1533, Elizabeth. Anne had several miscarriages after that, and she never gave Henry the son that he so desperately wanted. So he accused her of every capital offense he could think of, affairs and incest with her brother and plotting his murder and witchcraft, and she was convicted and sentenced to death, beheaded by sword. In her last letter to Henry VIII, Anne Boleyn wrote, "Your Grace's displeasure and my imprisonment are things so strange to me that what to write I am altogether ignorant. Never a prince had a wife more loyal in all duty and in all true affection than you have ever found in Anne Boleyn. But if you have already determined of me, and that not only my death, but an infamous slander, then I desire of God that he will pardon your great sin herein, and likewise my enemies, and that he will not call you to account for your unprincely and cruel usage of me at his general judgment seat, where both you and myself must shortly appear." It's the birthday of Dr. Benjamin Spock, born in New Haven, 1903, author of the Common Sense Book of Baby and Child Care, which came out in 1946, which began, "You know more than you think you do." It was the parenting Bible for the post-war moms and dads raising the baby boomer generation. It's the birthday of Jerome K. Jerome, born in Walsall, England, 1859. It was he who said, "I like work. It fascinates me. I can sit and look at it for hours." Here's a poem for today by George Denham entitled George Bizet. George Bizet was a Minnesotan, Lutheran bred, and at the age of 20 flew to Paris for a visit, and on the Champs-Élysées decided to be French instead and pronounce his name Bizet instead of Bizet. He came back to Minnesota in a black beret. Something French in him needed to be expressed, he felt. And one bitterly cold February day, eating cornflakes, he decided to leave the Midwest. His mother cried, "George, please don't leave." He said, "Mama, I love you, but what is the harm in finding a little gaiety and joie de vivre and socialized medicine?" He said to Carmen, "Darling, it's cold here, and the water tastes like copper a plane leaves for Paris at midnight. Let's be an opera." A poem entitled George Bizet by George Denham, used by permission of the poet here on the Writer's Almanac. Be well, do good work, and keep in touch.